Hey y'all, what's going on? Hey, can you all hear me? Let me know in the chat if you all can hear me. I am getting on YouTube now so I can see everyone's comments. Also, go ahead and start sharing out this YouTube video. Go ahead and smash the like button. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. All right. We are so close to having 3,000 watch hours. And so if you enjoy my videos, make sure you go back and watch the other videos, right? Okay, so let me pull up my video real quick. All right, make sure that's on mute. Okay, right, perfect. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. All right, let me look at my comments over here. Let's see. Want to make sure everybody is here. Okay. Perfect. Thank you all. Hey. So I'm going to introduce myself and then we're going to dive into today's topic. But before I introduce myself, if you have my book, UnCloned Marketing, go ahead and grab it because this is what we're going to be referencing today. So if you don't have my book, well, if you have my book, UnCloned Marketing, go ahead and grab it if you are in a place to grab it, because this is what we're going to be referencing today. And if you don't have the book, you can grab it as a part of our UnCloned book bundle. The book bundle is still at 50% off, so you can head over to unclonedbb.com to grab the UnCloned book bundle because it's still 50% off. All right. I haven't changed the price yet. So if you all are still interested in getting it, you can head over to unclonedbb.com. All right. Cool. So let me introduce myself and then we're going to get into today's topic. All right. So my name is Audria Richmond. I'm a marketing and launch strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build uncloned brands and launch profitable marketing campaigns. I am and we are the brand that you come to when you want to become or remain the obvious choice of your industry. So I'm really excited about today's topic because I want to talk about a topic that I think a lot of people don't think about. And I think a lot of times when we talk about getting clients, your proof and your evidence is what's going to get you clients, right? And so I figured we could reference the book today and really talk about like what type of proof can you create in order to get clients. So if you all are ready, just put a yes in the chat. I want to make sure y'all here with me. Also, I love engagement. It gets me excited because, if we ain't got the engagement, I might as well pre-record. I might as well pre-record and upload. So if you all are here live in real time, engage with me so I can know that you all are tapped in so we can get into today's topic. All right. Okay, cool. So if you have the book, we're going to turn to page let me take this lower third off real quick. All right. So if you are, if you have the book, I want you to turn to page 67. Okay. If you have the book, I want you to turn to page 67. All right. 67. So one of the things I really want to stress upon you is that there are a lot of scammers online. Okay. As of today, as of the time of this live stream, there are a ton of scammers. All right. And so because there are so many scammers, you don't know who to believe. Put me in the chat if you agree. Like you just don't know who to believe anymore. You're like, well, this person said they can do it, but I don't necessarily trust them. I don't know if they telling me the truth. I don't know if they legit. And so oftentimes, and this is another thing. Oh, because I was talking to my friend about this last night. If you aren't governing what you receive and what you hear, you could be told anything, right? And if you are a person who don't do your due diligence, you don't ask the right questions, you can get taken advantage of. You can be scammed out of your money. All right. And a lot of the times when people say, I got scammed, sometimes it's legit, but for the most part, a lot of people get scammed because they were not making educated decisions around what happened, right? It's kind of like, well, I signed up for this program, but I didn't know it came with X, right? Well, did you read the contract, right? Did you read the terms of service? Did you ask and clarify, hey, what comes with this? Did you get it in writing? Was it on the website? Was it on the website page? Like, did you ask those tough questions? And I think that sometimes if you aren't asking those tough questions, then the next thing you got to think about, you have to look for proof. You have to look for evidence. And so the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I am a person who still actively look for services, and I still employ and work with people, and I have clients who are looking and searching and looking for people. And then if you all are looking for someone to hire and buy products and services from, you have to make sure that you're looking for evidence. And if you are a person that's trying to get clients, understand that we are in a time where people are extremely, extremely, extremely skeptical. And it's like, it's one of those things where people don't necessarily believe what you say, right? Because you can say you know how to build a funnel, and then when somebody asks you what is a funnel, and you be like, well, I don't really know what a funnel is. It's just like, can you really build a funnel? So that's what we up against. We up against people saying things because they know it can lure you in, but they also are not being challenged, reason why they're able to scam. So if you've ever been scammed, it's because someone knew just a little bit more than you, but because you're not making an informed, educated, going through a decision-making process when you're deciding who you want to do business with, it's so easy to get scammed. And so because of that, a lot of people are saying to themselves, okay, I'm going to be looking for proof. I'm going to be looking for evidence. So the beauty in today's conversation and training, or however you want to look at this, is that I'm going to tell you the 7 proof elements, but can we both agree that it applies to both sides? If you're looking to do business with someone, you should be looking for these 7 proof elements. If you are a service provider, you need to be gathering and creating and leveraging these 7 proof elements. So if you got it, just got it in the chat. All right. Because when I go through this list, you will notice that it works on both sides. If I'm looking for a service provider, what are these 7 proof elements? If I'm trying to get clients, then what are these 7 proof elements? Deal? Deal, right? Okay, cool. So we're going to go to page 67 in the book, if you don't already have it, all right? And then we're going to go ahead and dive in, all right? Okay, so number 1 is personal results. The reason that I am a fan of personal results is because it's you can't deny what you do for yourself, right? If I see somebody that's super fit and they say they can help me get fit, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, girl, you are fit, the likelihood of me believing them is pretty high, right? Or if somebody published their own book, 9 times out of 10 they probably can tell me how to publish a book, right? And so oftentimes your personal achievements and your personal results can be proof. And this works perfectly if you don't have clients currently. So if you're trying to get into something new, and you're trying to go into another career path, or you're trying to start making money doing something, do you have proof of doing it for yourself, right? Put yes in the comments if you all understand what I'm saying right now. Have you developed personal results for yourself? Because if you develop personal results for yourself, then it's easy to not only get a client, but it's also easy to show proof. So if somebody come to me and be like, hey, I want to publish a book, boom, I've done it before, I can help you. Hey, Audria, I want to learn, how to publish a planner. Got you. I've done it before. Hey, Audria, I want to learn how to create a course. Done it before. Hey, Audria, I want to learn how to create, a certification program. Done it before. Hey, Audria, how did you get these mic flags? done it before. So the things that you've done before become your personal results. And ultimately, you can show proof and evidence of it because you've done it for yourself first, right? So that's personal results. All right. Number two. All right. Number two is before and afters. This is great if you are a transformer, meaning this kind of falls into like fitness people. If you offer a creative service where you're able to show this was their website before they came to us, this is their website after working with us. When you think about before and after, there's something that someone can see visually as a before and after, like, oh, that's what that was like before that. Or like, for instance, if somebody was like, hey, I'm gonna take this, I don't know if you've ever seen those cleaning videos on YouTube where somebody be like, hey, I'm about to clean this rug, right? And it's like they show you what the rug looked like, all dirty and busted up. And then afterwards it's like, all right, this is what the rug looks like after. So you're like, oh snap, they can take it from that to that. And that's really what before and after is. What can you show somebody from, how can you demonstrate what it is that you sell and do by having a natural before and an after? And if you don't have a lot of before and afters, are you clear on what the before and after state is when you're working with a client? So if you are a consultant, where was the client? And that probably falls more into case studies. I really want to keep before and afters to something visual that you can see. When it comes to something you can't see, I highly recommend a case study. So does that make sense between the difference? We're about to get into case studies here in a moment. All right. So case studies, I want to say, is the next one. Yeah. So the difference between before and after versus case studies, before and after is like you could take a photo before and after and people can see the difference, right? With a case study, let's say it takes you can't, this applies a lot to consulting. So if you've ever went to a consulting agency or a coaching agency or something like that, they always have this thing called a case study. And a case study is, hey, this was the case, meaning this is how this person came to us. We did all of these different things, and this is the journey we went on, and this is how we got this result. So it's more, think of case study as the journey and the entire process. And think about before and after as when that person first got started with me and when they ended with me. Does that make sense in the difference what I'm saying? So before and after is like, here's a visual representation. This is how they came to me before, this is where they were afterwards, right? You don't really know the journey, the process, the details, everything that was involved. And a case study is a more detailed version of that. This person came to us with this problem, this situation. We did all of this good magic. Here are all of the pictures and all of the diagrams and everything we did together. And then boom, this is where this person is as a result of us going through this journey and process together. So hopefully that makes sense, but that's essentially, what the case study is. All right. All right. So the next one is reviews and testimonials. Reviews and testimonials are starting to become, people are starting not to trust them as much because people can fabricate reviews and testimonials. And so I'm not saying you should or shouldn't get them, but like there's a lot of testimonials and reviews are starting to come under a lot of scrutiny. So get the testimonials and reviews, but be very explicit in what those claims are, right? So if you have somebody on camera saying, I work with such and such and they helped me make $100,000, and you're telling everybody, look at what my client said, whoever decides to work with you are going to believe that you can do the same for them. And that's not ethical because you don't know what that person's work ethic is going to be like, so on and so forth. This is why when you start seeing people use testimonials and reviews, you will notice they have like these huge disclaimers like, hey, do not expect these results. There's no promise that we can do this for you. This is for educational purposes. This is why you will see a lot of disclaimers, because if you don't document your testimonials and reviews properly and you're just out here willy-nilly selling people on it, it's easy for people to develop a claim against you saying, hey, they told me I can make $100,000, or I watched a video that said that I can make $100,000. I believe that. I joined the program and I didn't get the same result. So you have to be very careful with reviews and testimonials. And one thing you will notice about what I sell, I typically don't share a lot of testimonials and reviews. And even though I have testimonial reviews, I typically try to share them very minimally. And I try not to lead with the testimonial. You would typically see me lead with my expertise. You will start to see me lead with evidence of my own doing for myself. You will begin to start to see me lead with demonstration, tutorial, like things like that where I can show you in real time. I really don't like leveraging other people's results because other people have different work ethic, right? So I have a client who is in my mastermind, and her work ethic is like crazy, like through the roof, right? But other people try to join my program and be like, I want results like X. And I'm just like, she a whole beast by herself. Like, so if you ain't, she listens to me. So if you come in the program and you ain't listening to me, and you're not watching the courses, and you're not watching, and this is another thing too, everybody product is different. Even though you might be in the same industry, everybody product is different. So you can read that this client did XYZ, but at the end of the day, who to say you gonna come in with that same energy, that you're gonna make the same financial investments, and who to say that you're gonna make a product or service that the market wants for who you serve, right? Y'all could be in the same industry targeting two different types of people, and there's a higher demand for group A than it is B. I know this is a little advanced and like all over the place, but does that make sense, everybody? Just put yes in the chat, right? I hope that y'all get that with the reviews and testimonials. So I feel like reviews and testimonials are like the easiest thing that people lead with, but it's also the thing that could really F you up if you don't do it right. All right. Okay. So the next one is behind the scenes video content. This does really well, like especially if you've seen, like, let me take a water. I was trying to say, let me take a sip of water. So just let me take a water. Okay, so if you've ever seen TikTok videos or reels, shorts, things like that, where people are like, look at me make this custom, like for instance, I just found this girl. Let me pull this up because I just saved her stuff, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Let me see. I wish I could show y'all. Hopefully it's on here. I think Calvin sent it to me as a message. Give me 1 second. My husband and I, we send each other so many messages. Oh my God. 1 second. Here it is. So, okay, so can you see this girl? She's showing you that she's cutting the rug. Can y'all see that? She's showing you that she's cutting the rug, but you can also see her finished product. That's a good example of like behind the scenes. She's showing you behind the scenes, and then you ultimately get to see what the final product look like, right? So I was gonna reach out to her and be like, hey, can you make me one with my logo? Right? I was gonna reach out to her and see if she does, custom work. But you get what I'm saying? So you actually see a lot of this on Instagram, on TikTok and stuff like that, where people are like, today I'm going to show you how to make XYZ noodles. I'm going to show, so that's behind the scenes content. Behind the scenes content does really well because it's not like it got to be heavily produced. You could heavily produce it a little bit and make it look really good, but for the most part it's just like, hey, look at me make this whatever, and it's like you're seeing behind the scenes, so you know that person is capable of it. Another good example of behind the scenes is for instance, when I do VIP days with clients, let me show you. For instance, we did an event. It was called the UnCloned Launch Lab, and so you can see me as the consultant in action behind the scenes doing the work. So hopefully that makes sense. So hopefully y'all can see that a little bit. So as you can see, that's all of the me behind the scenes. I'm on the whiteboard, I'm talking to clients, blah blah blah, right? And so you can kind of see behind the scenes like, oh, well, whenever she do the next launch lab, I might want to come to that, and you can kind of preview what that experience is going to be like, right? Another behind the scenes is promo videos. So like when we did UnCloned Launch Live, that's a good example of what the event was like if you didn't come, right? So you can kind of see the preview of the event. So if you wasn't there, you kind of missed out, right? But you can see this video and be like, oh, that's behind the scenes. So let's say if I wanted to pitch a service of like, hey, let us produce your conference, here go my behind the scenes. You know what I mean? I could use this as evidence and as proof that I'm capable of doing that result. Hopefully that makes sense, y'all. All right. So that's behind the scenes. All right. So the next one is interviews and original content. So there was a young lady who got interviewed on one of my friends' podcasts, right? And this was this particular earring designer. She was like on the thing and she was showing her designs. She was wearing a pair of her designs. I said, oh, let me go look this girl up. So I got introduced to her through an interview and I became a super client. Like, for instance, on my desk, look at all these pieces I have from her, right? Just because of an interview. Okay. She was on somebody's podcast, getting interviewed, talking about her work and her pieces. And I went to her site. I'm trying to move this stuff without making the microphone static. And I bought like her different earrings, her different pieces. I got some other earrings over here. Hold on. You all probably haven't seen these earrings because they're pretty loud. But can you all see this? I got these in gold and silver. So I went to her website and I bought all of these different pieces because she was interviewed. Does that make sense to everybody? Because, people always say, well, how do I get business from interviews? One, do you speak well when you get the interview? Do you have fresh ideas when you get the interview? If you are, let's say, for instance, you're a fashion stylist, do you look bomb as hell on those videos? Or do you look like a bomb? So you want to make sure you're showing up for the part. So if you say you do a thing, are you able to articulate or showcase that you actually know how to do the thing, right? So interviews. The other side of that I just said was interviews or original content. So for an example, I'm demonstrating to you all in real time right now with this original piece of content, showing you from my book that I authored, that I'm going to show you the seven ways that you can showcase proof to get your next client, right? So there's a lot of evidence in this video. Not only am I telling the talking points, I'm showing you real examples, and I'm also teaching from my book. So there's a lot of authority and credibility just in this piece of content that's being created. So hopefully that makes sense. All right. And then the last one is authoring a book. Authoring a book. Okay. Authoring a book. Okay. Evidence, proof that you are who you say you are and you're doing what you say you do. Now, obviously, there are some garbage self-published books. However, if you're publishing like a pro client, you don't have them problems. But nevertheless, authoring a book is a way to showcase your evidence and proof that you know what you're talking about. Like, there's a person that I'm considering working with because I bought their book, I read their book, and I'm sold on their ideas. And that's the other thing that's beautiful about books, is that people get to get sold on your ideas, your concepts, and the things that you teach. That way they can become an advocate from learning from you. So let's go over those 7 things one more time. It's on page 64. 4 because I lost my little bookmark here. No, that was not it. That's actually another. That would have been a good video. Hold on. Okay, so the seven proof. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. So I make sure I got my YouTube videos up. Okay. All right. Because I can respond to y'all comments. Okay. So the 7 types of proof that close deals, as a recap, number 1 is personal results. Number 2 is before and afters. Number 3 is case studies. Number 4 is reviews and testimonials. Number 5 is behind the scenes video content. Number 6 is interviews and original content. And number 7 is authoring a book. All right. So hopefully that should give you some really good ideas for how you can go about demonstrating and showcasing your expertise. So are you excited about gathering some of these different types of proof so you can go out and get your next client? I'm telling you. Also, which one resonated with you? Which one you gonna do? Let me know in the chat. Also, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and then we can go from there. And I also just realized there's a significant delay between you and I with this video on YouTube, okay? Because I'm like, I already said what that is. So anyway, let me know in the comments which one resonated with you. Which one can you actually go out and do today and start sharing and telling people, right? Which proof, which evidence can you go out and show? Also, if you have any questions, let me know. Now, if you would like to grab this book, you can head over to unclonedbb.com. That's unclonedbb.com and get the book bundle. That means all 3 of these books. Are You Ready for the Yes, Uncloned Marketing, and Uncloned Life for 50% off. So if you don't own the book bundle, now is the time to go get it. So head over to unclonedbb.com. So if you're watching this and you get, I can't guarantee it's going to always be 50% off, but if you hear in real time, it's 50% off. So head over to unclonedbb.com. All right. So let's see. One of the questions is, what if your personal results are proprietary? What do you do that's so proprietary? Let me know. For instance, if I worked at KFC, for an example, and I needed to showcase my personal results, I would just tell you to eat the chicken. I don't got to tell you what my recipe is in order for you to consume my intellectual property, right? If you buy my book, I don't have to tell you how I came up with this book. Does it make sense? So if you have a proprietary process for how you get a result done, then maybe you shouldn't utilize, for instance, if you're going to use personal results for curriculum development, you could talk about the curriculum development process. So maybe you might want to do a blind case study. Just Google blind case study. You might want to do a blind case study about a particular person or brand and like what you all were able to do for them, right? So, and if you want to, you don't necessarily got to sell people on what you did for yourself in order to talk about the fact that you know how to develop curriculum. So for instance, let's say this is my curriculum, right? This is my customized curriculum, which it is, right? Because we use this to certify our clients. But nevertheless, let's say this is my personal curriculum, right? I could talk about, what you're going to learn, what's going to be those key takeaways. I could talk about, the stories around the curriculum, what made me come up with it, how it works, how we test people. Like I could talk about all of that without teaching you how to develop curriculum, right? It's not like I'm going to be like, hey, so today I'm going to teach you how to make book curriculum. Like, no, I don't necessarily got to tell you that. However, I can say, hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about my experience with creating curriculum and being able to do X. And the first thing I had to do is you can tell stories. You ain't got to tell people nothing about how you actually came about doing the thing. It is an art and science to this, but you don't necessarily have to expose your exact process in order to do that. All right. Is that helpful? Just put yes or no in the chat. All right. All right. If you all have any other questions, let me know. If not, we're gonna call it a day. This was going to be a quick, easy, straight to the point live stream. I pray that you got value from today's live stream. So yes, thank you. Okay, perfect. Cool beans. So, anywho, I am going to go ahead and end the live stream. It doesn't look like you all have any more questions. Make sure you share this video out with someone who really needs to know, one, how to research and find a service provider, and two, they need to learn how to demonstrate their own proof and evidence so they can go and get their next client with ease. All right. So, thank you all so much for tuning in to this live stream. And until next time, y'all, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all.